you maintain company culture and communication at ReferralCandy? Because it's very interesting in the way different companies do it. So what does like a typical week look like from team meetings to individual work and recording asynchronous videos, which is the latest thing about asynchronous communication, which anyone can view at any time because it's recorded. What's a typical week look like for ReferralCandy in a virtual office world?
That's a really good question. So we've so before COVID, we were mostly kind of like a traditional company in the sense of working from an office. It's true that even my colleagues that had to work from the office, they still had a pretty flexible schedule in the sense that you don't have to come in at a certain time and leave at another time, and you can work from home if you want to. Nobody's going to ask questions just because you're stand up and leave, right? Like it's really, I was really flexible, and like we've always had as a company, we've had the culture of we're hiring you because you are a professional in your field and you know how to do your job. So we're not here to tell you when or how you have to work. You're just here to deliver. And so that worked really well for people that like going to an office, like our colleagues in Singapore, and people like myself that from the very beginning I was looking for a remote position in which I have kind of like a little bit more freedom in terms of where I work from, right?
Yep.
And so one of the things, the reason why I started mentioning this is because one of the main kind of like, I would say like cultural aspects that, or something that we did at ReferralCandy, that unfortunately I didn't get to participate that much, except for when I actually went to Singapore. We're having team lunches. So we will have lunch catered to the office every day. And the reason for that was to be able to have kind of like conversations away from computers, get to talk to people that are from different departments, and like, kind of create this sense of camaraderie that it actually stayed after we all went remote. And so in terms of how to build this kind of like company culture, I think it's more about kind of like, how do you organize your company, in my opinion, and kind of like that motto of you're a professional, we're hiring you for a reason, we're hiring you because you know how to do your job and we don't need to tell you how to do it. That's the reason why for us it was super easy to transition from physical to online, and we didn't really see any sort of kind of like downtime in terms of performance or in terms of how our teams were organizing themselves, because we have the structure in place. On top of that, obviously, we still try to have like online events within the company, either on a weekly basis or a monthly basis, in which we might do kind of like an online game type of event for a couple hours, or team meetings in which the whole company kind of meets together and we share updates about what different teams are working. But yeah, I think it's the fact that we had kind of like that strong culture of how we organize ourselves as a company that has allowed us to move into a virtual world without really seeing any sort of hiccup.